Okay. In this talk, I'm going to be accompanied by PhD Jonathan Murcia, and also the other people that conforms AstroCO robotic group is Jenny, PhD Jenny Asensio, PhD Javier Enciso, candidate to PhD Laura Ruiz Pedraza, Master in Science John Fabio Aguilar, and the engineers Alejandro Serna, Jesus Mario Vargas, y José Antonio Mesa. Okay. As you know, the exploration of the moon has once again become very important, not only for the nations, states, but also for companies and space agents. In this picture, you can see the most important space agents in the world, like NASA, ESA, HASA, the Chinese Aerospace Agency, and others. But also, Latin America is joining this group with the Latin American Space Agency. In this agency, we are joining countries like Mexico, Argentina, Chile, Colombia, and others from Central and South America. In the case of NASA, the Artemis plans have two principal goals. First, in the next year, create a substantial human moon presence in the surface and also in orbital bases. And second, preparing technologies to perform the first human missions to Mars. But all agencies, of national agencies are private agencies, are working to get a position in scientific research, politics leadership, human exploration and robotics further value, substantial economic growth, and increase the competitiveness to actively participate nations. At the right side of this slide, you can see a picture of the moon taken by a student from the observatory, Andres Felipe Molina. He's an enthusiastic photographer and makes a beautiful image from not only the moon, from other constellation, galaxies and stars in the sky. But in Colombia, we have the Space Colombian Commission, la Comisión Colombiana del Espacio. It was an entity attached to the President of the Republic. Is a new notice that 2 days ago, this commission was attached to the President of the Republic. It's an important step because this is the entity that makes the coordination, orientation, and execution of national policy to develop and applying space technologies. All the community hope that's now attached to the President of the Republic, this Comisión Colombiana, la Comisión Colombiana del Espacio, goes with the initiatives more efficiently than before. On the other hand, we have the international Misión Internacional de Sabios. It was in 2019, and this committee puts special attention to the increase the investigation, the research in Focus 8 in base and space science. This group, the intellectual people, the academic people, puts efforts, says at the state, at the society, that puts more efforts into develop space science. But why? The question is, why explore space? NASA and other space agencies and many countries have found that the economic and the competitive benefits for nations and people in this area For example, development on space technologies, scientific discoveries in the space area, opportunity to include commercial and social initiatives, and consolidation of public and private alliance, linking academy, industry, government, and society as a basis of growth and innovation. Today, it's cheaper to go to space based on costs, commercial and orbital transportation service, and large opportunities and facilities. Emerging nations like Colombia and others in Latin America will be able to access space in the new Space 4.0 era. On May 10, 2022, Colombia became the 90th country to sign the Artemis agreements based on the spaceful exploration of space. But Some of our story. Here we have the second floor of the National Observatory here in Bogotá. This is a building that was built by the Spanish naturalist José Celestino Mutis. The first director of this institution was the scientific Francisco José de Caldas, as you can see this image, this statue here in the picture. But other academic and professors are involved in this institution. The important thing is one of them. If you see the red arrow, show the image of the astronomer, mathematician, and engineer Julio Garavito Armero, head of the observatory between 1893 and 1920. His contributions to the study of the motion of the moon in celestial mechanics, as well as the definition of the legal time for Colombia, among others, were very important and make it possible that his last name was selected by the International Astronomical Union to name a crater on the non-visible side of the moon. This is a beautiful building, and I hope many of you can one day visit our building, our historical observatory. But related with Garavito, the International Astronomical Union approved that the crater located in central latitude minus 45.21 in latitude and longitude 156.78 be the position of the crater with the name Garavito. But in 2006, 4 craters more are labeled with the name of our astronomer, Garavito C, Garavito D, Garavito Q, and Garavito Y. The most bigger is Garavito 1 with a diameter of 81.05 kilometers. Okay, we have a dream, like the song or some other words speaking well other people. When we have the event to celebrating the 200 years of the existence of the National Astronomical Observatory, August 20 in 2003, the idea of using the Garavito crater as a place for research was presented for the first time. This idea took shape and advanced in 2020 with the proposal to design a lunar rover in this event, 50 years of the crater Garavito. Well, today, this initiative will lead to the development of local and proprietary technologies in our country, boosting international aerospace technologies, increase the synergy between government, industry, and society, talent formation from high school to postdoctoral studies, to promote student project seedbeds, and depositing maybe a time capsule on the moon from Colombia. This is our idea, mission Selene CO1, the central idea is to perform scientific studies here in the crater Garavito. And we join experts from different universities, another from National University, from industry to design, manufacture, integrate, and test a serving model with this payload. In this picture, taken recently by the Artemis program, especially the spacecraft Orion, you can see a picture of the moon, and in the top of the picture of the moon, you can see the position of the crater Garavito. Now I invite Jonathan Murcia, who is going to talk about the next part of this talk. Welcome, Jonathan.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jonathan Murcia. Thank you, Professor Mario Armando. I'm part of a team of scientists that collaborate with this project. The main idea of the project or the mission is to develop a robotic surface vehicle, a micro robotic surface vehicle, to explore the lunar surface, to demonstrate and test the Colombian technology and capabilities in space. The first part of the mission begins with the stakeholders, which are a group of private companies in Colombia, like Higuera, which develop robotic vehicles in Medellin, Colombia, and Inciso Systems, which is a company that collect data from the Space Observatory and manage the distribution of this data. And in the case of the university, with the National Observatory of Colombia in the National University of Colombia. And as was presented for the Professor Mario Armando, we are part of the Artemis Accord, and we expect to integrate these national companies in the development and design of a micro vehicle robotic of superficie or surface, and to develop new products to increase the participation of the Colombian industry in the global space economy. Please continue, Professor. Professor. Thank you. We have, this is the first time that an space exploration mission is projected in the country. We expect to increase our human capabilities and technological capabilities in the development of a space exploration system, more specifically in surface vehicles or rover vehicles. Then we need to increase the technology in the country and the facilities, and structure it with agencies and industry outside of the country to increase our technology and to develop the mission and the objectives of this project. Continue, Professor. Next slide, please. Then we define 3 goals for this mission. The first goal is an exploration goal, to explore the lunar surface. The second one is to design a robotical system from commercial off-the-shelf and to be able to integrate and to operate this system in the environment and of the surface of the moon, and to promote the synergy between industry, academic, and government to improve the Colombian capabilities in the new space technology. Please continue. We adopted the space and NASA system engineering. Right now, we are in the pre-phase A with the concept studies of the development of the mission, the objective of the mission, the system, and the CONOPS for define the preliminary and main requirements of the mission. We adopted the B process to the development of the system and subsystem, which will be integrated to operate in the lunar surface. Next, please. The main part of the mission, or the architecture of the mission, is to use the commercial orbital transportation system to develop a small robot integrated into a orbiter, which is part of the commercial companies, to transport primary payloads to the surface of the moon, and our rover is a secondary payload which use the lander supported by another companies of the Artemis, to go to the moon and to connect and send the data with a link between the small rover, lander, and orbiter, and the ground station. Then we going to develop the micro rover, but we are going to use the transportation system for commercial launchers, commercial orbiters, and commercial landers. And at the same time, the deep space network from the Artemis program. Here is described the main operation of the system. You can see in the picture, in the orange part, the rover, and the green links with of communications with the ground station, and the data that will be collected and transmitted for the commands and operation. Next, please, Professor. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Here are our main companies and sponsorship of this project. And as was presented, we are in the preliminary studies, in the preliminary phase of this idea. Thank you.